Hello guys. Oh, it's been a while, eh? What happened to 2020?
I don't think 2020 existed really.
2020 went by in a flash. Well, anyway, it's been so long since we made a video, and yeah, look, it's been tough. Everybody knows what's been going on for the last 12 months or so. We in lovely sunny Cape Town, South Africa. This is actually just we're up the west coast here, close to Cape Town. Unfortunately, these gorgeous beaches behind us are closed right now, but we're hoping we're going to get back out there pretty soon. Now, so what have we been doing with the last year, you may ask?
Well, you know what happens when you can't travel, and you travelers like us, you dream about travel and you plan about traveling one day.
Exactly. We did not sit still, I promise you. We initially thought what everybody else did, and try and probably watch too much Netflix, and at least we got lots of exercise, so that's good. But we figured, you know what, I'll be crazy, but should we develop a tool that helps us to pick our next destination when we ever start traveling again, when we eventually start traveling again? I remember 2 or 3 years ago when we were trying to pick our next destination, we had these elaborate schemes and we plotted it out on spreadsheets, and we tried to figure out where's the best weather, when, and how can we get there cheap, and what is the tourist seasons, and when is it raining, and is it visa free, and all those things. And it just became a total nightmare. So come 2020 lockdown, so we realized, you know what, it might be crazy to develop a proper tool to do this kind of thing, but now's as good as time as any. So we put our heads together, and we transformed our little blog into something a little bit more useful, and we started developing this crazy travel destination filter finding tool thing, eh?
Yep, I mean, it's something we wanted to do for a long time, to have it in more usable format for ourselves, and if we find it useful, we hope that more people find it useful. And I think what we've got right now is really the world's most flexible travel destination search tool.
That's quite a claim, I must say.
The reason I say that is that we've combined so many different filters that, to be honest, a lot of this information might be out there somewhere on the internet, but what we've done is we've combined it all into one place, with the aim of not only trying to tell you what is our best destination for a certain time of the year, but to tell you what is your best destination depending on your preferred choices, whether that's climate, activity, tourist season, or anything that you may find important.
Yeah, I think the idea was to make it as flexible as possible by trying to hit sort of the major important things that everybody asks. Like, I think I'm going to do a little demo of the tool just now, so stick around for that. But it sort of roughly covers, firstly, what is your passport, and that will give you an idea of where can you go, for example, visa free. It gives you options to set regions, safety advisory levels, avoid certain risks, like, for example, health-related risks. Like right now, we're in sort of COVID-19 pandemic, and that's more important than ever before. And also, we want to be able to give you the option of finding good value destinations. So we figured out a way to categorize types of travelers and sort of give you a sliding scale so you can find the best value and maybe the cheaper destinations based on your criteria. And then the last section, which I think is the most valuable, and that's actually what started everything, was when do you travel? In other words, if you have a month of the year in mind, where should you go if you want very specific type of weather, or maybe if you participate in some sort of sport of activity, if you're looking for a surfing or kite surfing destination, where should you go in a certain type of year where you're going to find some good wind. But I'll show you all the details, and we're going to run through a little sample filter, and you can see how it works. I did write a little blog article as well, which I'll link to below. We can check out and sort of step you through all the details of the filters and how we just came about deciding on what to use. But I think you'll get a good idea. Otherwise, you can head over to our website anytime. It's www.wewillnomad.com. wewillnomad.com, and obviously I'll link down below, and you can go give it a go.
What this tool aims to do is not only give you one option for the best travel destination, but hopefully to inspire you with a few options that you may not have considered. And in doing that, you can also click through. Every country has its own country guide, and on those country guides you will find even more information with regards to activities, things to go and see and do, the weather and climate on different parts of that country, and also currently more information on the current COVID status for that country.
There's no lack of detail. We're still working through those country pages, but almost half of them has been extensively detailed. And I think with the next month or so, we'll probably be able to progress a little bit further. So don't, if you land on a country page and it looks a little bit wishy-washy, please don't go away forever. We'll get those things in there. But at least every country has extensive details on what the major things like tourist seasons, best time of the year, little highlights, and also obviously the current coronavirus travel status. But we'll definitely fill in the blanks as far as we can go.
So show us how we use this tool.
Okay guys, stick around and I'll quickly show you how it works.
Right, so we'll start with typing in our address, wewillnomad.com, and this will bring you to our landing page and our front page. You can pick your destination directly from here if you so prefer. We can narrow it down by region, but what we're really interested in is this where to travel next filter tool. You can click here, or you can go straight to the menu at the top. Although I will link to this article in the show notes, you can go read more detail if you go to Essentials, Travel Tips, and here you will find an article we wrote specifically about this, giving more detail about every little filter and explaining exactly how it works and how we came about creating it. And there's also a podcast discussion which you might find interesting. But we're going to head straight over to the filter. I'll show you how it works. Okay, so this is the page you see as you land on it, and it shows 199 destination options available, and these are just sorted alphabetically. You can use the sort by option, and as we set more filters you may have some more options added, but we'll leave it by alphabetically for now. The first thing you'll see is the default's a grid view like this, but there's also a table view, and the table view actually shows all 199 or all remaining destination options regardless of how many there are, whereas the grid is limited to 8 at a time, of which you can add increments of 8 more. Every destination gives you a quick overview with the country name, its general accessibility due to COVID-19, and you can also filter that according to these first level filters. And obviously it doesn't show you a visa option because you have to set a passport. It shows you an approximate value rank, which is connected to this little slider here, and we rank every country from 1 to 99, and that's based on the purchase power parity of each country measured against the dollar as a base currency. And obviously it also shows you the advisory level and gives you an oversight of what possible other health risks there might be. But what will happen is the moment we set a passport, things will change a little bit, and we'll do that right now. Let's say we are from, let's make it Germany. Okay, so immediately the COVID-19 filter is removed. As you set your passport, that option is integrated in your visa requirement, and we differentiate pretty much by green and red. So let's say we are in Germany and we want to travel visa free, and obviously we don't have much of a choice. We have to avoid COVID-19 restricted areas. So it leaves us with 140 options. Not too bad. Now, how are we going to choose? Well, we normally know roughly when we will be traveling. We will have a good idea of where we will be traveling. Now, I think for starters, let's narrow it down to Europe. So we're going to go to our region section. I'll just toggle all of them off and switch on Europe, and we're going to apply. And it leaves us with 44 destination options. And what we can do is, if we really wanted to, switch on estimated flight prices. Now, as you can imagine, flight cost is a big decider. So let's say we are flying from Germany as well. So we'll switch that on, and you'll see most of destinations will now give us an estimated flight price. If you do click on it, it will take you through to a little search page where you can narrow it down based on the cities you want to fly from and to. But we'll leave that as now, and we want to also reduce our travel advisory level from 5 to at least 4, because 5 could potentially be a problem with your travel insurance, and if there's any major risks, your embassy might not be able to support you otherwise. Make sure you avail yourself of the travel advisory recommendations for every specific destination from your own embassy. You can also exclude regions with very specific health risks. Just keep in mind that some countries are quite big, and you could potentially exclude countries where certain health risks are limited to a small portion of the country itself. Okay, I'm quite happy with this setting right now. So we still have 38 options, but we are traveling on a budget, and we're going to set our budget. You can choose your type of traveler here, and we are a couple, and we're definitely a budget couple, but you can choose what you want. The moment I set this, it will make this slider available, and this is a daily budget based on an average for accommodation, food, water, drinks, and local transportation for each destination. But we want to reduce our daily budget, and we're going to say, well, let's set our budget to about $100 a day, and that dramatically reduces our options. Suddenly we have 13 options, and I think I think it's low enough for us to actually load all of these. At least now we can see all our available options, and we're going to sort these by our daily budget. And this will give you, again, by doing that, the cheaper countries will be listed first, as you can see. Okay, but we're not quite done yet. When are we traveling? Now, you could have set that right in the beginning and just kept it simple, but let's say we want to travel in May, and during season we know Europe is predominantly shoulder season come May, but we'll just leave that unselected, and we can now choose either filter by climate or activity. Now, personally, we generally will choose by climate because we prefer warm weather locations, but you can also choose by activity. So let's set it by activity first, and you can choose. Now, interesting enough, you choose snow sports. I think it's quite obvious. There's not that many options. I'm not saying there's no options, but in May in Europe you have limited options. Let's set it, for example, to kite and windsurfing, and it gives us 9 options. And you have to remember that all the filters apply at the same time. What we can do is, I will change this to climate and make sure we get the climate we want. We want to go somewhere where it's warm. So we're going to set this to hot or moderate, and also we want to reduce our risk of getting wet, so we'll choose our precipitation to be dry. And we still have 8 options. Perfect. Okay, so right now, although it seems like flying to Georgia is a little bit more expensive from Germany, it's definitely the cheapest daily budget, but we can also consider some alternatives. Let's have a look at Bulgaria as an example. So you can now dive a little bit deeper into all these countries by actually selecting the country guide, or just clicking anywhere. And we can also look on the map to give a better idea of where these countries are, in case we want to maybe combine more than one country in our trip. Like if we fly to Georgia, we're going to be a bit isolated, but maybe if we travel to Albania, we could combine that potentially with a trip to Montenegro. But let's go have a look at Bulgaria. Why not? That sounds interesting. So when you do select one of these country guides, we'll take you to a dedicated page for every country. You can also land on these pages by choosing them directly off the destination menu option. So this is a good example of what you can see in every destination page, and right at the top we'll give you a COVID-19 travel status, and you can expand this section. In this case, we can get a good idea of who's allowed and if you can actually travel there, because the stuff is constantly changing. And then as you scroll further down, you get a rough idea of little bit more about the country. If you want to look for flights, you can click here, choose your origin, and it'll take you through to a search page, give you a lot more details. And the rest of the page is dedicated to more information on the specific destination. For example, a valuable section would be what is the best time to visit Bulgaria. For example, what months of the year you can expect what. There's a little chart that shows you the average rainfall and monthly temperatures. We use sort of a schematic display to give you an idea of when the peak seasons are and how that combines with weather. And then we scroll further down and there's more information on activities and sports. And then we get to the travel cost section. And good to see our budget your trip, where you plug in a little widget which you can play with and change your color or accuracy if you like. And then we get some sites and highlights of Bulgaria, and there's also a map which you can play with to give you a little bit more, for example, details on every location. And right at the bottom there should be a link of where you can choose your next destination. Alright, that's pretty much it, guys. Now you don't have to redo all the settings. You can keep all your settings exactly the way it is and just change one. So let's say, for example, we want to change this to April. What would happen to our options? And clearly, due to the weather situation, our options are reduced ever so slightly. But this is the right way to do it. We would probably go to, let's look at the map. And luckily these two countries are right next to each other, so we can probably combine it into one trip. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and back to the beach.
Alright, and we're back. I like magic. Hope you enjoyed that little demo.
We hope that you enjoy using this tool as much as we enjoyed creating it, because for us during this year where we weren't able to travel, it was great to be able to learn so much about destinations that we might not otherwise have considered exploring.
I think it did serve as inspiration for ourselves looking forward into the future, and although this is a bleak time for traveling, we know it's going to change. It might not be normal ever again, or whatever we considered to be normal back in the day, but now more than ever we need to make smart and informed choices, and we hope that this will help a little bit getting you there. Not
only for you to make the right choice, but also to just inspire that travel wanderlust in you once again.
For sure. Guys, thanks for watching, and as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and head over to our website wewillnomad.com and go check out this thing, and drop us an email, or you can comment on this video. Otherwise,
give us a thumbs up for the hard work that we put in. This is a free tool.
Yeah.
It's free for you guys to use. We don't intend to monetize it, but we would like a little bit of support. So subscribe, ring the bell.
Yeah, so we hope to make a few more videos this year than usual, so stick around, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.